Hi, this is Emiterio Christopher Reyes. The third video for you to differentiate among the personal competence. An individual has its own differences. The only living things on earth that has personal competence is human. When you say personal competence, this is the being aware, self awareness, and self management skills, which focuses yourself. Okay? But it does not mean that you are self centered. You only have to differentiate what is self centered, literally, and what is self awareness. This ability to accurately perceive your emotions. Okay? So self awareness is perception, okay? Perception toward your emotions and aware of what is going on in terms of your emotions. So there is emotional awareness. Next, self management. If you have the awareness, you use that to control, to stay calm, flexible. What else? To become adaptable to the environment, whether it is hot, cold, or whether it is tempered or not. That is self management. But if another competence for this matter is social competence. The social competence, if you have self awareness, you have also social awareness. Self awareness first, and then followed by social awareness, because this is more on the relationship management, relationship competence. For example, how do you show your moods, your behaviors, and motives in order to improve the quality of your relationships to humankind? And when you say social awareness, the ability to pick up on emotions, on how again, on how to control your emotions toward others, the relationship, on how to understand what is really going on around the society, relationship management. This is the ability to to understand accurately what is going on around. Now, in this video, I would like to differentiate the three important terms. First, emotional intelligence, intelligence quotient, and personality. What do you think? Are they different from each other? Let us have the first, EQ, or emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is the fundamental element of human behavior. Psychology says that if you have a high emotional intelligence, it is appropriately that that person has a high IQ. What does it mean? Emotional intelligence, therefore, equals intelligence quotient. Now, which comes first, the EQ or the IQ? In the book written by Christopher Reyes, Personal Development for Senior High School, this is very alarming to those who do not understand what is emotional intelligence and intelligence quotient. Published by Great Books Trading Incorporated, okay, in the year 2018, personal development. You can buy this at the National Bookstore, I guess less than 400 pesos. Just tell Personal Development for Senior High School, K-12 Compliant by Christopher Reyes. He is the author of this. So When you say emotional intelligence, again, this is the fundamental element of human behavior. What is the question while ago I raised? What is the first one to, to observe? The EQ or the IQ? But some psychologists or I guess therapists or social scientists believe that emotional quotient equals intelligence quotient. Now, literally, it is correct. Because if you have high EQ, you have a high IQ. How do you think, therefore, to your emotions? How to control your emotions is coming from your nervous system, your brain. Remember, your head is above all parts of your body. Your head is not located below. It's not located on the middle. It's not located on on the side, but it is on the top of your body. Okay? And there is a connection between intelligence quotient and emotional intelligence. We cannot predict emotional intelligence, but based on how smart the person is, how intelligent the person is, you will notice that that person has emotional intelligence high. Okay? For example, at the age of 15, all right, somebody is talking just like age 50 because of the IQ. The emotional intelligence is also high. Naturally, more emotionally intelligent the person, the higher the IQ intelligence quotient of that person. Now, how do you develop emotional intelligence with a lower intelligence quotient? It is given that when you born with a high IQ, we cannot predict the EQ because that is how the person behaves, on how the person deal with others. Remember, there is a self-awareness, self-management, and social awareness and the relationship management. So this is how the emotional intelligence and intelligence quotients are bring about because EQ equals IQ. If you have a high EQ, you have a high IQ. But if you have a high IQ, lower EQ, then there's something wrong. If you have a low IQ and a high EQ, you can develop that. Okay? That is the disadvantage. That is the disadvantage of being lower IQ with a higher emotional intelligence. I don't know what happens, but because of high emotional intelligence, even if you were born with it, the intelligent conscience is there. You acquired, you improve your abilities, you improve your talents. So high EQ, but there is let's say a boundary of your IQ. You can improve that, but you cannot improve the EQ. Okay, maybe this is qualitative and this is quantitative. All right, let's go to personality. Personalities is just like a puzzle. There is no stability because due to the because of the what behavior, emotions, moods of the person. The personality is the result of hardwired preferences, such as inclination towards, let's say, introversion or extroversion. However, like IQ, personality cannot be used to predict emotional intelligence. Also, like IQ, personality is stable over lifetime, but it does not change IQ. Emotional intelligence and personality each cover unique ground and help to explain what makes a person tick or what is the person personality. It does not relatively explain the relationship between EQ and IQ. Emotional intelligence can be developed. Communication between emotional and rational brains is the physical source of physical, emotional intelligence. The pathway for emotional intelligence starts in the brain. At the spinal cord, your primary senses enter here and must travel to the front of your brain before you can think rationally about your experience. However, first they travel through the limbic system, the place where emotions are generated. So we have an emotional reaction to events before our rational mind is able to engage. Emotional intelligence requires effective communication between the rational and emotional centers of the brain. How to enhance your emotional intelligence? Number one, don't interrupt or change the subject. If you feel uncomfortable, you tell that you are uncomfortable. We want to avoid them by interrupting or distracting ourselves. Sit down at least twice a day and ask, how am I feeling? What is the mood for today? So if there is a bad reaction, take a look for that. Do not interrupt or change the subject. Don't judge or edit your feelings too quickly. Try not to dismiss your feelings before you have a chance to think them through. Healthy emotions often rise and fall in a wave, rising, peaking, and fading naturally. Your aim should be not to cut off the wave before it peaks. And then see if you can find connections between feelings and other times you have felt the same way. Connect your feelings with your thoughts. Listen to your body. Okay, this is very important. If the body is already aching, do not pretend that your body is okay. Listen to your rhythm of the body. If you don't know how that you are feeling is bad or sad, ask somebody. Time in your unconscious feelings. You must have to tune also. Ask yourself, how do I feel today? Is it happy, sad, not in the mood, and so on? Write thoughts and feelings down. Know when enough is enough. How do you know that there is already enough? There is a signal, right? There is a connection from your present situation to the previous to the future. That there must be a what? Limitation. Enough is enough. So you have to understand the word enough so that you can have the really period. Okay? So that is emotional quotient, intelligence quotient, and personality. Thank you very much for listening to my video. Please subscribe Imitero Christopher Reyes YouTube channel. Thank you. Bye. Good day.